Well, I did some traveling, and I was on a plane, and the coronavirus is a thing.
Yeah, it is.
So I had to sit next to I think an Asian guy with one of those masks. He
On a
was
plane?
coughing next to me.
Oh,
So I'm
no.
like sitting here like, God damn it. You know what I mean? Just thinking like I'm going to die. I'm going to get this and take it to Marietta.
Yeah.
No, the funny story is, when they were passing out, I fell asleep when they were passing out the pop. He was like, "Hey," I was like, "Don't touch me." You know what I mean? I just pretty much said, "Don't touch me."
Sure.
He's like, I got bronchitis."
Yeah.
I said, "You sure?"
Jeez.
And he said, "Yeah."
guy.
He said, "You gonna talk about this in your videos?"
What?
What?
Yeah. I said, "I just might."
So he knew who you were?
His name was Keith. Yeah.
Keith recognized you.
Yeah.
What? That's so funny.
Yeah.
No, that's
but-
happened to me at the TSA lines now.
Yeah, but when I landed, that's when I got like 50 messages from my friends, a couple I haven't talked to in like a year or two, about Kobe Bryant. 'Cause him, his daughter.
So you were in the air?
I was in the air, just
man.
like the
Just like
Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So him and his daughter and 7 other people passed away in a helicopter accident. So it just sucks.
Yeah, that really sucks.
Yeah. So I've just been watching all the press on it. It's weird to have all these like other legends, like Shaquille O'Neal and
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan. All these people who are much older talk about how it breaks them up. See them, these grown men crying about it. Just a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about it. Ironically, from Calvin. Calvin was on the scene. He texted me. Did you hear about Kobe? I was like, "What are you talking about?" I looked and went, Jesus, Calvin was on the ball for this one.
Yeah.
But then the first thing I thought of was like, "Oh man, Shane's gonna be."
Well, I started
Torn
crying.
up.
I
Torn
saw
up.
in the airport, just started crying in the plane.
Yeah.
And then fucking this guy behind me had him say, hey. Like he was talking to someone else. Did you hear about Kobe? Holy shit. So it was just, yeah. And then when I was walking out of the airport, like people were talking about it. I was like, I can't believe it's spreading like the
sucks.
coronavirus.
That sucks.
But yeah, like Shaq did a big thing on it with a bunch of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just all crying. Yeah, Shaq's younger sister just died a couple months ago.
Really?
And then this guy died. Yeah, I mean, and then his daughter died. And he's just said like he's been a ghost walking around. Yeah, just. but
Yeah,
he
I just watched the highlight of him scoring 81 points in one game. It was pretty fucking amazing, just watching it. 'Cause
Yeah.
when someone passes, you get like, here's the highlights of their life, and that guy had tons,
Yeah.
so many highlights.
Well, I mean,
Well, the incident was like unbelievable too. It was just like with the
Yeah.
helicopter. Yeah, and I remember I found it and I was like, the only thing I'd seen was that Kobe had passed and that there were like 9 people on the chopper and stuff, and that
Mm-hmm.
everyone had died on the
Yeah.
helicopter. And later on, I was looking at stuff too, and I was with like Melanie and her brother and stuff, and I was like, oh my God, Kobe's daughter was on the helicopter. And then like our friend that was with us, she's like, but everyone in the helicopter died. I'm like, yeah, it's terrible.
Well,
Yeah.
I was
like,
watching.
I feel it's terrible for that. I feel really bad though too for his his wife and the 2 daughters too.
He's got a 6-month-old at home.
Yeah, it was born like last June.
Yeah.
Like,
So it just, what's cool about him is, he was an ambassador for sports. Like he was an ambassador for women's basketball. Like he talked about it all the time, loved it. Like this, I can't remember his name. It was a tennis player. It was a guy. He had tennis elbow and he snapped his tendon. He went to visit him. Like he just visits athletes in different sports, like football players who are injured. Talks about like his mentality. Like he to me he was a mythical. He was almost like a superhero in a sense. Like he's like mythic because like he was so obsessed with winning. It was flawed. He was like this flawed character because he pushed everyone else away in his life. He didn't have any real friends. He had problems in his marriage, like because he was obsessed. And he said like, if you're not trying to win, what's the point of being here? If you're not trying to win and be the best at everything. And he took that in after the NBA life and used it for writing and creativity, and he won an Oscar like the next year.
yeah.
On like his second project ever. So like it just real crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
It's great we have like avenues in which guys like that can succeed, and not like 3,000 years ago, where it's like, well, this guy's gonna destroy my village, because they're just so much better at everything than I am. I can't do shit. Just come take what you want, leave.
I mean, because he's truly one of the greatest players ever. You can debate where he is on that list.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say number 2 or 3, but top 10. Okay, and he just had this crazy mentality. He would just ridicule and alienate people on his own team. He's like, I have 5 championships. You just got here. You're not allowed to talk to me. He would say that to them until they got to the point where he felt like they earned his respect, and then he'd have your back for life. So I was watching this thing, Jimmy Fallon, which I heard the story before, I forgot about it. Like, Kobe turned pro at 17 years old. A lot of people don't know that. So he was in LA at a party, and Jimmy Fallon was like a stand-up comedian guy. He didn't break into the scene yet. They were just there. So they went to do a beer run, and they didn't even know each other. So that's how they got to know each other. And they wouldn't sell him beer, and Kobe just put up his car, said, I'm a Laker. So he said, we walked in with we walked out with a ton of beer, and that was that. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Huh.
But yeah, and Jimmy Kimmel, when his son had surgery, was it heart surgery? I can't remember. Kobe was nice enough to call him several times and say, hey, how's your son? And so many celebrities I didn't think were linked to Kobe had that story. So just couldn't believe it, because he's going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame in less than a year.
I know I don't know who they were, but the other 7 people on that helicopter too, their families and all that kind of stuff too. Hopefully, the best to all of them getting through the tough time.
Was it his private helicopter?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it would have been people that are connected with him then, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who the pilot was or any of that kind of stuff too. I saw a list, and many of them had it was 3 last names, so I know there was some relations between them.
Yeah.
But
Flying and planes and helicopters, I mean, it is without a doubt one of the safest ways to travel. It's just that when something bad happens, you can walk away from a car crash. It's hard to walk away from a helicopter crash.
Well, I guess what is sad and to me is think about those final moments when you're going to die.
Yeah, I almost don't even want to think about it because there's nothing you can do, and your kid's there, and you're just thinking what if I just didn't do this today? That's what I think of.
Yeah.
Whenever I've had, I had an uncle that passed away in a car crash, and he actually, it's he had never come to my house ever, except for the day he died. He was there that morning, and what happened was he was with another guy, and that guy passed a car where he shouldn't have, and another car crashed into them, and that's how. And my uncle was a passenger in this car,
Yeah.
and my uncle and that guy were at my house, doing something that day, and I kept thinking man, if I had just said hi to him for longer than 30 seconds I did, if I had said hi for a minute, then they wouldn't have went in that.
You always
right
think
there,
about the timing.
You think about the timing, especially when it's an accident like that.
Yeah.
It can rack your brain.
What could have happened even yesterday that would have changed the time for the day?
If I had just said hey, what's up over here, they would not have been at that point where that guy came around the bend,
Yeah.
in a matter of seconds, And it's just one of those things that
how old were you?
It'll keep you up at night. Oh, young. It's the first major loss I've ever had. I was 6, 7.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a 2-year-old daughter that my mom would always have over because because we didn't have much connection to him after he had passed away.
Mom or dad's side?
My mom's side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would have been my mom's second youngest brother. So.
Damn.
But yeah, his name was Todd. It was when I was real young, but that will always stick with me that I was I had that feeling even so young, being the butterfly effect could have happened and stopped that, and I would never have noticed.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think I also try to take it as a lesson. You ever have that feeling when you're really sick? It's I would give anything to feel not sick.
Yeah.
But do you ever think about that when you're not real sick?
I think about it.
Sometimes, right now,
Sure.
right now, I try to go, hey, I don't have the craziest stuffy nose right now. I should appreciate that, you know? Or hey, Shane didn't die in a car crash or airplane crash when he came back. I should really appreciate that,
Yeah.
I try to think about that alternate reality that's out there.